to this of FSU semester next Friday. The senior show, and I will be on that. Sadly, I will be graduating, so sorry about that. So we actually have beautiful conditions today. Humidity is low, the sun is shining, so we have a great day to be out and about and a great day to start our weekend. Partly cloudy skies at Joe Campbell in the low 80s, 80 degrees with those southerly winds coming in because of that cold front approaching us. Now, we have that increasing cloud cover, and like clockwork, when that cloud cover increases, we will also have those showers and storms roll in along that frontal boundary. So we have a beautiful day today, but we will see that change tomorrow when that cold front rolls through our area. Temperatures will drop down, but right now we are slightly above average temperatures in the low 80s, 82 in Tallahassee and Quincy, 81 in Thomasville, 81 in Perry, and we have a cool spot in Apalachicola at 73 degrees. So tonight's headlines, we'll talk about that rain tomorrow because of that approaching cold front and how do thunderstorms form. Stick around for all that and more on FSU Weather.
Good evening and welcome into the Friday edition of FSU Weather, the second to last Friday of the year. Do you know what time it is, Nico? Because it is way earlier than normal.
It is 5:32 because we're doing the show earlier tonight. We have our banquet tonight, and we should have some nice weather to walk to that, luckily.
Yeah, I think we're going to have good weather tonight, but we are going to see some storms start to build in the overnight hours, and then tomorrow we're going to be talking about that here on the show tonight. And we're also going to be looking ahead at how thunderstorms develop. I'll be going in depth on how thunderstorms form.
Yeah, and that will certainly be a topic that is it's a good night to talk about that. We have the storms tomorrow. We have another threat of storms potentially on Wednesday and Thursday, and some of those could be severe, so we definitely have to keep an eye on that.
Absolutely, we definitely want to keep our eyes out. If you might have been woken up rudely at 4:45 in the morning the other day, and if you were like me, I was not happy about that, but I want to remind all of you that because of severe storms, you do want to keep those emergency alerts on. Even though this one-off happened and that was a mistake, well, I want you to keep those emergency alerts on just to be safe. But we're going to toss things over to Melissa, who's going to talk more about our local.
Thanks, Ryan. It's definitely important to keep those emergency alerts on, but we're going to kick on tonight's show with our weather trivia. So for tonight, what weather condition does a black ball indicate on a synoptic chart? Is it A, fog, B, sleet, C, temperature, or D, rain? So make sure you think about that, try to figure that out during the show, and we'll give you the answer to that at the end of tonight's show. Right now, over Joe Campbell Stadium, kind of a nice sunset going on, not a whole lot of clouds moving in just yet, some really nice conditions at the moment. And we will see temperatures of 80 today, partly cloudy. Tomorrow that will continue, but we will have rainfall for the forecast tomorrow, which we'll see here shortly. St. George Island is looking beautiful as well. A nice beach day to go out, maybe enjoy a sunset tonight if you can make it down there in time. 73 and partly cloudy as well. Just make sure you're looking out for rip currents if they are in effect at the time you go to the beach. Bradfordville, pretty much the same thing, a little bit more clouds up there as that system begins to move in. But again, 82 degrees and mostly sunny, so seeing some pretty nice conditions for our entire area. Still a little bit on the warm and muggy side, but much nicer than we've seen sometimes during this winter. Tallahassee today was 83 degrees for our high, which is above our average, but not too far above average for this time of year. And our low is actually below average for today. So that's actually a bit of a change from what we've seen the last couple weeks, where our low has been much higher than our average. So sticking around our averages for this time, which we really like to see. Thankfully, pollen is very low for most sources of pollen except grass. So if you are allergic to grass pollen, I do suggest you try not to mow your lawn, or maybe you can get some kid next door to mow the lawn for you. Try to avoid that grass pollen right now. It's not going to be very good for your allergies. Our local radar showing some clear skies for right now. A little bit of rainfall off by Mariana, but some really nice conditions again. Go enjoy your night out before that rain starts to set in later tomorrow. Current temperatures looking at 80s across the entire area, 73 in Apalachicola, where a bit of a sea breeze is probably cooling off those temperatures a little bit, but still staying rather warm for the entire region. And our dew points are a bit on the high side right now, 58 in Tallahassee, 54 in Thomasville, 51 in Donaldsonville, and 57 in Perry, and a whole 68 down in Apalachicola, so really muggy conditions, especially down by the coast. Not helping with that heat that we're seeing right now. Tonight, temperatures will be cooling back off into the 50s with 55 in Tallahassee, 53 in Monticello, 54 in Sopchoppy. So again, cooling back down into the 50s, hopefully sticking to around our average again that we saw this morning. Tomorrow, we will be having more cloud cover and rainfall coming in as we do have a cold front pushing through. Some weather conditions tomorrow moving through and hopefully moving out of the area by Saturday evening. So hopefully clearing up for you to make a nice night out of it. But unfortunately, this cold front isn't really going to be dropping our temperatures all that much. 83 in Tallahassee, 81 in Bainbridge, 84 in Valdosta. So still seeing quite an increase in temperatures once again. Not really nice conditions. Our comfort index is really not ideal for right now. We're kind of dancing around it. Can't quite get there. Staying towards the humid and muggy side, going between hot and cool. Cooler in the morning and hotter in the afternoon, and getting hot and dry after that cold front comes through and pushes out all that moisture on Saturday. So again, dancing all around that ideal area, but not quite making it to that ideal conditions we'd like to see. For the week ahead, we do have quite a bit of rainfall in store for our week. 40% for Earth Day tomorrow, as well as 40 and 60% on Tuesday and Wednesday, 40% on Thursday, and 50% on Friday. So make sure you're keeping that in mind for your plans for this week and keeping an umbrella or a rain jacket in your backpack. But Elizabeth, how's this cold front going to be affecting the rest of the state?
Yeah, so as of right now, we aren't seeing much rain for the rest of the state, although that front is going to move through and bring rain to the rest of the state of Florida heading into this weekend. But for right now, we do see some pop-up showers along I-95 right there, but nothing too severe, except for some heavier rain down by the southern point of the state. So in this fancy new graphic from our team leader, we see right now, we see that rain heading just west of I-95 there, but that is really the only concern for the main rain right now. In Miramar Beach, we are seeing that rain move through. It is 72 right now there, and then we can see on our live camera there those clouds moving into the area, and then we do have that the yellow flag out, so the waves are a little bit choppy right now. It is quite warm in Orlando right now. It is 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies, so not too terrible there right now. And at our downtown camera right here, we are seeing some clouds right now, but again, nothing too bad for your Friday evening. And then down in Duck Key, it is 83 degrees and quite breezy right now, and what a beautiful view right there. Not a cloud in the sky. Absolutely gorgeous night to head down to the beach there. And it is very hot across the whole state of Florida right now. We're sitting at 83 in Key West right now, 83 in Tampa. Cooler down in the peninsula. It is 74 in Pensacola and in Jacksonville right now. And it is actually pretty muggy for the majority of the state. Not too bad in Tallahassee, where it is 58 right now and 65 in Pensacola, but we are heading into that upper 60s when we move down south in the state. And for tonight, we're going to stay pretty mild in the mid to upper 60s for the majority of the state, hitting in the Keys, so not super great. If you really like those springtime temperatures, but our future radar, we'll see that front move through our area in the later morning tomorrow, and we'll see some of that rain move through the majority of the state. And again, it'll be a very hot day for tomorrow, mid to upper 80s for majority of the state. Let's zoom out and look at the southeast, right, Chase?
Yes, thank you, Elizabeth. As you can see across southeast, we're seeing gorgeous conditions. However, those are seeing the change as we have a storm system moving into the area. As you see in Tennessee, we have that beautiful view of the sun setting, but all across the southeast, we're seeing gorgeous blue skies with some of those clouds in the area. Now, if we look at our current weather map, we are seeing that storm system off towards the western part of the southeast. This will be making its way into our area, and you can see some of those storms associated with it. This storm system was associated with some of those severe weather we saw out in Oklahoma earlier on in the week. now, but however, it shouldn't be as severe when it gets here, but however, there's still a concern for severe weather. Now, across the southeast, we are seeing warm temperatures as you work your way south. However, back behind the cold front, we are seeing those cooler temperatures. As you can see, between Jackson and Shreveport, where the front has passed Shreveport, we are seeing nearly a 5-degree difference. You can also see between Atlanta and Nashville, we are seeing nearly 10 degrees difference between the two areas. So that gives you an idea of where the cold front is at. Now, across the area, we are seeing those higher winds up towards the center of the low pressure system, and we are getting a bit of an onshore push down by the Gulf Coast. And those winds will continue to shift and change as we have that system kind of push its way through the southeast off to the coast. Now, we're taking a look at how this storm system is going to progress. As you can see, as we go into midday Saturday, it's going to continue pushing its way east, and it's going to bring some stormy weather for a lot of the southeastern coast, so be on the lookout if you have plans because the system will be making its way. And as we move into Sunday, it will push off the coast, seeing some clearing skies. However, we could see another storm system off towards the west that could bring more clouds and some weather. And we are seeing some cooler temperatures arrive as that front has pushed down. You can even see it push through the peninsula there. Now, as you can see on the dew point, we can see that gradient. We see the front kind of push its way through as we do have dry air behind cold fronts. You see it push its way through, but it won't actually make it all the way down through the peninsula. But majority of the southeast is going to be those drier conditions, so it will make the heat a little bit more bearable for a majority of you folks. Now, in Charlotte, looks to be a gorgeous end of the week, except for Saturday. We could see some of that heavy rain, 90% chance of rain, but that should clear out as we go into the later part of the weekend and the beginning of the work week, so it should be gorgeous and beautiful temperatures for the start of your work week. We're moving to you folks in Nashville. Look at that. Upper 60s to start the weekend, and it drops to the lower to mid 60s. Absolutely perfect. Definitely want to be outside. Don't want to be inside. Go out and do something fun because it's going to be the perfect weather for that. And Tampa, we're moved down south. It is going to be warm. As it's Florida, our springtime is like summertime. So you can see 87 on Saturday, 90 on Sunday. And then we can see those storms work in Monday and Tuesday, dropping those temperatures a little bit as we do have that cloud cover, and we're going to see mid-60s throughout the night. You folks in New Orleans, it is going to be pretty good. It's going to be high 70s to start off, and then we're going to cool off a bit. You could see some rain on Tuesday, but all in all, pretty great for you folks. Now, what's going on across the rest of the country?
Well, we have a lot going on right now. So when we take a look at our surface map right now, we see that low pressure system right over the eastern part of the southeast region, and we see those storms move south and east, and that is what is going to bring us our rain locally heading into this weekend. But we do have an area of high pressure right now sitting over the northwest right now, which is bringing very nice conditions for that part of the country. And so for our water vapor map, we see that line of storms right here, and that is what is bringing all of that moisture south and east. But behind the front, we have drier air, and that is typically normal with cold fronts. And for our temperatures, we're seeing a lot of different shades right here. So we see this U shape right here, and these are very warmer temperatures. We're sitting at 77 in Atlanta right now, 56 in Kansas City, and 35 and snowing right now in Bismarck. So very variable across the country right now. And we are sitting pretty dry for areas west of the cold front. So we see higher dew points in this green region right here, but all this brown and white means very, very dry right now. It's 9-degree dew point in Denver right now, which is super duper dry. So I would definitely not want to be there. And we are sitting also above average for our high temperatures, mainly in the northeast here and heading down south, where we're sitting very much below average for the majority of the northern Midwest and Northwest right here. So, and we are seeing sort of similar conditions for the low temperatures right now, but we do have higher temperatures heading into the southern portion of Texas right there. And looking at our drought monitor, it's not looking much different than what we have seen. We're still seeing that exceptional drought in the Midwest right here, which is not so great because it is dry and hot and just not great overall. Here, though, we don't have a drought, although we did have this the severe drought down south has turned into an extreme drought in the Tampa Bay area. So make sure that you are watching for your burn bans or anything that may be in place right there. So we do have those storms moving through Memphis right now, and that is going to be moving through into the rest of the southeast, heading into the morning. And then we have that line moving all the way up into the northeast, and that is also going to be moving east there as well. So make sure that you have your raincoat and your umbrella set. Northwest is looking pretty calm right now. We see a few snow and rain showers there, but nothing too bad as well as our southwest. Very, very dry there as well. Overnight, it's going to get pretty cold across the majority of the Midwest. 30 in Denver, 28 in Billings, and for our 6-day temperatures, it's going to get very cold for the majority and very rainy as well. So now I'm going to pass it off to Ryan.
Yeah, thank you so much, Elizabeth. We've been talking all show about thunderstorms, and we want to really quickly talk about how do these storms develop? Because really, in order to understand weather, we have to think about how do these storms develop, all right? So first thing we're going to talk about is the cap. So what is the cap? The cap is a layer of warm air. Think about the atmosphere in 3D, all right? So we've got 3 dimension of the atmosphere. We've got warm air aloft. And with this warm air, the heat is going to warm up the Earth, and the heat is eventually going to rise. As long as the temperature is falling with height, the air will continue to rise until it meets this warm air layer right here. If the updraft hits this warm air layer, it's likely to form thunderstorms or larger clouds. Now, what can happen with some of the stronger updrafts is we could actually break the cap. So with uncapped air, the strong storms can actually work their way up and then through the cap, which is what's able to create some of the stronger storms we see, such as supercells and the tornadic thunderstorms we see oftentimes in the Great Plains. So if you hear like a storm chaser say, oh yeah, the cap just got broken, what happens is you'll see these clouds kind of overshooting, and it'll kind of, you can tell with the cloud formation that there's some sort of anvil, and then there's clouds beyond that cap. So what kind of storm clouds are there? Well, the main storm clouds we see are cumulonimbus. Those are the big, dark, thunderous clouds that we see that cause most thunderstorms across the plains and across the U.S. We also have nimbostratus clouds and cirrostratus clouds, which are a little bit higher and are also a little bit brighter. The most common cloud we see is cumulus clouds. Those are just your white, puffy, everyday clouds that you see. You also see some altostratus, some cirrus from time to time. Some cirrocumulus can form some storms as well as altocumulus. And then we've also got some lower level clouds such as stratus and stratocumulus. So let's think about, if you've ever lived in Florida, you've probably heard the term sea breeze thunderstorms before, right? So especially if you live in Orlando, anywhere in Central Florida, you've heard sea breeze thunderstorms before. How do those form? So we've got water on one area of our map here, and we've also got land here. And land heats faster than water. And with that, the air is going to rise and create low pressure up above, and then the cooler air is going to start sinking over the water. Air flows from high pressure to low pressure, which is kind of how wind is created. Think about geostrophic wind being air wants to move from high all the way over to low, all right? So with that, we're going to see these storms develop with this, and we're also going to see just storms develop stronger. If we get a collision, which is common in Central Florida, that's where we're going to see those strong afternoon thunderstorms develop. Katie.
Thank you, Ryan. Let's switch things over and bring it back to Doak Campbell Stadium. As you can see, those clouds are rolling by. The sun is just peeking through. We are still seeing a bit of that blue sky. And as for today, it is partly cloudy, and we do remain at 80 degrees, which is very warm, very mild, and we do have a slight wind coming from the south. A few areas in the local area, we are looking at a few clouds pretty much everywhere. Here is just pretty much cloudy. Similar story with St. George Island, and same for Panama. It seems something is blocking this view, but I'm pretty sure it's cloudy as well. And as we look at our local radar, we do have a little bit of that scattered showers here in Mariana, and then a little bit as we move more south, But as we get to Tallahassee, we're looking all in the clear. So it should be pretty sunny for the rest of the day. And as for our current temperatures, we are remaining pretty much warm and mild and dry. The Big Bend area is looking at pretty much lower 80s, and as we get to the coast here in Apalachicola, we do see 73, so it will be a little bit chillier as we move down to the coast. So you definitely want to be prepared with that. Bring some sunglasses, shades, sunscreen, all of that. And as for tonight, we will drop down to much cooler temperatures. All around the 50s. It will be 55 here in Tallahassee, 53 in Monticello, and we'll be a little bit cooler here, 50 in Bainbridge. So that's very cold. You want to probably bring a jacket if you're heading out tonight. And as for our stargazing forecast, we're looking at pretty good conditions. It might be a little cloudy, but you will be able to see that waxing crescent. There will be a few showers rolling in tonight, so you want to be prepared with that and bring a umbrella or raincoat. But as for stargazing, you pretty much will be able to see the stars. And for our future radar, you could see that rain coming from that cold front Saturday, and that will pretty much leave the area by Saturday night. So you want to be prepared with that. And for tomorrow's forecast, we're looking at a similar story as today. Temperatures in the 80s will be a little bit of a hot spot here in Tallahassee and Perry, but it will be pretty rainy, so those muggy conditions will come out. As we get down to the coast, we'll be at 79 as well, so much cooler temperatures. And for our air quality, we're looking at pretty good conditions, so you will be able to breathe, and that's always a good sign when you're outside. For our pollen report, we are looking at pretty good conditions. If you do have a grass allergy, that is very high, so keep in mind as you are heading out tonight. And for our airport forecast, we are looking at no delays, so you want to be on time for your trip out because your plane will leave without you. As for midnight as well, we are looking at no delays as well. It is going to be a little bit cooler. And as for the morning, we're looking at no delays as well. So similar story for today and tomorrow. So definitely be on time for that flight out. And as for our beach forecast, we're looking at pretty high UV index. So if you do head out to the beach tomorrow, even though it will be raining, you definitely want to keep that in mind that the UV index is really high. And for the week ahead, showers tomorrow, we're looking at a pretty good week. And as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we will bump into a few rain. So let's pass things on to sports with Nico.
Yes, thank you, Katie. We're going to have a lot of sports to talk about next week. We also have a lot of storms. Hopefully we can get these all in without any delays. First, we're playing Virginia Tech in baseball tonight. This one's going to go off with no issues. 80 degrees before the game, and then at first pitch at 8 p.m., 75 under mostly cloudy skies. This is perfect conditions for baseball. Tomorrow versus Virginia Tech, we're playing them in softball at 4 p.m. We may have some showers at the beginning of the game, but hopefully with the vast majority of the rain hitting in the morning, we should be able to get this off without a lightning delay. By the end of this game, 74 degrees under mostly sunny conditions. That's perfect weather to be playing outdoor games in. As we look at our men's golf team in the ACC championship, they might have a little bit more wet weather to deal with on Monday. Hopefully this rain can stay light and we can keep lightning off the course so we can get this game in on Monday. But at the beginning of the match, it should be really nice, 62 under mostly cloudy skies. So the start of that match is going to be great. Hopefully they can play as quick as possible and dodge the rain. For our track and field, they're playing at Baton Rouge. They're probably running on LSU's track tomorrow. It's going to be beautiful all day. 60 when they start in the morning, and then by the end of that track meet, it's going to be 76 under mostly sunny conditions. That's great weather to be outdoors and running in. So if you know anyone that's going to be going to this track meet in Baton Rouge or running outdoors, they're going to be dealing with beautiful weather during this, so they don't have to deal with any storms like we do here this weekend. So it's a good thing that this track meet is in Louisiana and not in Tallahassee. But now I'm going to pass things off to the closing desk with Juanique and Melissa. Or wait, no, I'm going to pass things off to Katie really quick.
I'm back, and we're going to take a look at our local. So right now we are looking at a local radar, and you can see those scattered showers here in Mariana and a little bit at the south. We're pretty much clear in Tallahassee, so it is definitely a good day to be outside. And if you look at our future radar, those clouds are rolling by. We do see a little bit of that scattered showers as well. So definitely you want to be prepared for that and bring an umbrella. And as we get into our bonfire forecast, we were looking at a pretty good weather to be outside. At 9 p.m. we'll start off at 71, and then it will cool down as we get to 2 a.m. with just a few clouds in the sky. So it is a pretty good day to be outside, if you ask me. So you definitely want to be outside if you're heading out tonight. But here on our local radar, we're going to show again that rain right over here. And in Tallahassee, we're going to be on the clear. So if you are heading out tonight, we should be pretty good conditions. And for Tallahassee, we're going to see those rains just move by, and we're pretty much going to have a lot of rain tomorrow. So you definitely want to bring an umbrella or a raincoat. I know tomorrow is Earth Day, so if you plan on heading out tomorrow, it will definitely be a rainy Earth Day. For our dog walk forecast, we will be starting off at 65 at 7 a.m. and then we'll bump down, we'll kick up to 74 at 11 a.m. And for our drive cast tomorrow, you can see this cool graphic. In the morning, it will be slippery, so you do want to remember that for your daily commute. And as we get into the later times, it will be pretty dry conditions, so that's always good to be out on the road. And as we get to our airport delays, we're pretty much seeing no delays for Tallahassee International. And to answer the trivia question, what weather condition does the black ball indicate on the synoptic chart? It is going to be rain, so the more dots you see on the chart indicates more heavier rain, but let's switch things up to the desk.
Thanks, Katie. So unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have kind of a washout for at least tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon. Not looking at some great conditions there.
No, as Katie mentioned, we are in for a very rainy Earth Day because of that approaching cold front. So along that frontal boundary, we will see plenty of showers and storms tomorrow.
Absolutely. So you're going to want to make sure you're at least keeping an eye out for severe weather. We don't have a huge lookout for severe weather tomorrow, but there's always that possibility of something spinning up that you weren't expecting. But hopefully that will clear out by Saturday night and looking at a much nicer Sunday.
Of course, so if you have any weekend plans, be sure to try to get out on Sunday. We have a pretty rainy day scheduled for tomorrow. So if you have any plans to maybe take a picnic, do that on Sunday, I would say.
Absolutely, especially since that dry weather is moving in. But for right now, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU Weather and like us on Facebook at FSU Weather as well.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube right now. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram as well on FSU Weather.
And just be sure, we do stream live from 6 to 6:30 p.m. every weekday. Today was a little bit different as we all have a banquet to go to tonight, so this was a one-time thing, but make sure you're tuning in next week as well and joining us live next week.
As always, thank you so much for joining us on FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Monique Martinez.
I'm student meteorologist Melissa Geiger.
Thank you, guys. Chase Purdy here. We're just taking one last look over Doak Campbell Stadium. Have a great night, and hope you folks have a great weekend as well.